The Diary of Samuel Pepys. It was only discovered in 1819. Okay. And it was written in a cryptic code, so nobody could even read it. Alright. So this was all about the Restoration writers, and now we have to move on to the Augustan age, which also falls under the head of Neoclassical. So let's start by writing a small introduction of the Augustan age, or the age of Alexander Pope. Alexander Pope was the prominent writer, poet of that age. So the age is also referred to as the age of Pope, or the Augustan age. Why do they call it the Augustan age? We are going to discuss it. First of all, the timeline 1700 to 1745. It is actually the first half of the 18th century, the age of Pope. Pope, kahan se naam aaya? As we have already discussed, from Alexander Pope, the prominent writer of this age. And Augustan age also, why? Because of the writers writing in this age, they intentionally compared themselves or followed the line of the writers who were present in the age of King Augustus in Rome. Okay, so these writers were Virgil, Cicero, Horace, Ovid. तो किंग ऑगस्टस जब रोम में रूल कर रहा था, तो उस टाइम पर जो राइटर्स लिख रहे थे 18th century, first half of the 18th century के जो writers हैं, Alexander Pope and his contemporaries, they intentionally or they deliberately compare themselves to those writers. They say we are actually like those writers, we are copying them, we are imitating those writers completely, so we are as excellent as those writers. So they they started imitating them completely. There was no place for inspiration or inspirational writings in this age. There was lack of creativity, one should say. There was a respect for strict code of writing and code of everything. Okay. Also, these writers, when they deliberately chose this name, तो ये जो नाम है ऑगस्टन एज अप्लाई होने लगा इस एज के लिए. ऑल्सो द न्यो क्लासिकल एज, क्लासिकल भी वही रोमन एज के लिए और किंग ऑगस्टस की जो एज है उसी के लिए यूज किया गया. न्यू रेफर्स टू न्यू, तो नई क्लासिकल एज. सो नाउ यू मे बी एबल टू सम अप ऑगस्टन एज, न्यो क्लासिकल एज. ओके, राइट डाउन ऑगस्टन एज because writers were fond of comparing themselves to Virgil, Cicero, Horace, 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 Ovid, and other great writers who made literature famous in the time of King Augustus. Okay, and this age, the ruling monarch, we all wonder who was the monarch at this during this age. So in this particular age, it was the reign of Queen Anne, ANNE, Queen Anne, George I and George II. She was daughter of James II. And politically, this was the rise of this was the age of rise of political parties, again Whigs and Tories. And also the government or the monarch you see in this age was, not as strong as Queen Elizabeth or anyone else. So the government held most of the authority. Therefore there was the rise of these political parties, or the development of the modern day scenario of the political parties. King George I was a German, and he spoke little English, so people were not able to really relate with him. And George II, he exercised small authority. Okay, so the period saw a great development of the government by parliament. The Whigs. Okay, and who were the Whigs? They supported Constitution of 1688. They also supported Protestant succession. The Puritans in the previous age, if you remember. Okay, and development of government, civil and religious liberty. They favored development of government, civil and religious liberty. Tories, they were less certain in their support of Protestants. They were less certain in their support of Protestant succession. However, both of these parties were only in favor of the landowners. Nobody was actually thinking of the masses. Okay, and how were the ministers elected? Ministers were elected by the crown, by the king or the queen, but could only continue in the office only when they had majority support in the parliament. So Whigs were in majority. So they were ruled by Duke of Marlborough. Whigs were in majority, the supporters of the Commonwealth. They were ruled by Duke of Marlborough, Marlboroughh, Marlborough, in the time of Queen Anne, and by Sir Robert Walpole. So we have this new name here, Sir Robert Walpole. Sir Robert Walpole, during the reign of both the Georges. During the reign of both the Georges. So when George I and George II both were reigning, there was this new character, this new personality, Sir Robert Walpole. You will see him in a lot of poems written at this time. Also, the focus in social life, if we see, it was a culture of drawing room. It only favored the noblemen. Okay, they were in the spotlight. Nobody was actually focusing on the general masses or the general public, which only came to the limelight in the Romantic age, which succeeds this one. Okay, and also this age was development of commerce and industry, but the evils of approaching industrialization were still not realized. Also, what new happened politically? I hope you have written the previous point. Development of commerce and industry, but the evils of approaching industrialization were still not realized. Another political point that you need to remember: Union of Scotland with England. Union of Scotland with England into the nation of Great Britain. Into the nation of Great Britain in 1707. And also at this time, American colonies had started revolting against England. And this age was the era of correctness and good sense. In double inverted commas, put these both words: correctness and good sense. In words of Pope, if we wish to tell about this age, in double inverted commas you can write down, those rules of old discovered, those rules of old discovered, not devised, devised, not devised, are nature still but nature methodized, are nature still but nature methodized. It was the methodized nature. Method was important in this age. It was all about how correctly you follow the rules, how correctly you imitate. So there was no space for your own creativity or inspiration. It was the nature. When they talk about nature in this age, it is always, keep it in your head, it is always the nature of the town. It is the nature of the drawing room. Okay, and the nearest approach to the nature that we actually know, the Ped Paudhe Pahad, the nature that we know or understand, it is only found in the pastorals or the eclogues, which were still being written in this age, but they were actually felt like, second-hand accounts borrowed from the ancients. They had, they lack all kinds of luster and newness and exuberance, freshness. There was nothing new in it, or nothing worth reading even. And the chief political form of writing was satire, and they followed the Latin examples. And the literature of this age seems to be cold and artificial mostly, because there is no natural expression of human feeling. There is no natural expression of human feeling. And the writers of this age, they were actually very satisfied with this formality. There was a rigid framework or restraint which was accelerated. This point is important. The restraint or rigid framework was accelerated by the powerful influence of French literary tastes, themselves derived from classical literature. Okay, so we have these classical writers, or the names which were really used, or their styles of writings were copied. Seneca provided the model for tragedy, Senecan tragedy. Seneca provided the model for tragedy. Next one, Plautus and Terence, Plautus, Plautus and Terence provided the model for comedy. Virgil for epic, Vergil, Virgil for epic and pastoral. Juvenal for satire, Juvenal, Juvenal for satire. And Horace for literary taste and criticism. Horace for literary taste and criticism. Okay. And now training was substituted for instinct, and conscious craftsmanship for erratic self-expression. So there was, repeated revisions of a work which had been written. And pamphleteering became rich in this age because, again, of the political parties. They had bribed writers to write in their favor. there was a conscious sophistication of language to in order to distinguish between prose and poetry. Prose जहाँ पर सीधा सीधा कोई बात कह दिया, डायरेक्ट वर्ड्स यूज हो गए, सो इट वाज कंसिडर्ड रियली अनपॉलिटिकल. तो अगर अनपोइटिकल सॉरी, तो कोई चीज़ पोइट्री होने के लिए उसको बहुत सजा धजा कर कोई वर्ड बोला जाना चाहिए. डायरेक्टली इफ यू से इट वाज कंसिडर्ड टू बी अनपोइटिकल. For example, I always give this example of birds. Birds were referred in poems. You will see this, the feathered choir. You cannot say birds. If you say birds, it is more of prosaic. If you say the feathered choir, it is poetical. Okay, along with this we have the age of enlightenment, or the age of, it is a more philosophical term, the age of enlightenment. या फिर इंग्लिश लिटरेचर जब पढ़ते हैं तो इसको हम बोलते हैं द एज ऑफ सेंसिबिलिटी, है ना. सो आई एम ऑल्सो गोइंग टू मेंशन some introduction to that age, because the writers, you see, there's not a very clear transition. राइटर्स जो ऑगस्टन एज में आपको दिखते हैं वो आपको द राइटिंग्स आर वेरी डिफरेंट, बट राइटर्स की जो एज है वो ऑगस्टन एज से इट फ्लोज टू द एज ऑफ सेंसिबिलिटी. सो आई एम गोइंग टू नॉट मेक अ क्लियर लिस्ट ऑफ राइटर्स फॉर ऑगस्टन एज एंड एज ऑफ सेंसिबिलिटी. हम सब राइटर्स का नाम इकट्ठे लिखेंगे, लेकिन इंट्रोडक्टरी पार्ट है जो दोनों एजेस का, आई विश टू मेक इट क्लियर टू यू पीपल कि दोनों एजेस में क्या डिफरेंस है, ऑगस्टन एज एंड एज ऑफ सेंसिबिलिटी. सो राइट इट डाउन. Age of sensibility. This period was between death of Alexander Pope in 1744. जब अलेक्जेंडर पोप की डेथ हुई in 1744 to 1785, end of neoclassical era. 1785 कौन सा ईयर है? It was a year after the death of Samuel Johnson. Okay, year after the death of Samuel Johnson. Okay, this age is also referred to as the age of Johnson. Johnson की spelling JOHNSON. Ben Johnson वाला नहीं, Samuel Johnson. This is an older name, the age of Johnson. And his, literary circle included the writers or the famous writers of this age. Oliver Goldsmith, you might have heard of this name before a lot. Oliver Goldsmith, Edmund Burke. Write these names of all these writers. Oliver Goldsmith, Edmund Burke, Burke. Next one, James Boswell, Boswell, James Boswell. Edward Gibbon, Gibbon, Gibbon. Okay, in this period we find a growing sympathy for Middle Ages. Cultural primitivism was in fashion in this age. You are primitive, you are going back to the roots. Cultural primitivism was in fashion. Third point, awakening interest in ballads and other folk literature. Awakening interest in ballads and other folk literature. Okay, and another point, there was a turn from neoclassical correctness. This is the difference. A turn from neoclassical correctness in double inverted commas, C capital correctness. And emphasis was now on judgment. Judgment, you are a rational being. This was the realization of this period. Okay, so use your intellect for things. Emphasis was on judgment. And restraint. And restraint, restraint, and restraint to an emphasis on instinct and feeling. On instinct and feeling. All these points led to the development of literature of sensibility. Okay, other poets of this age, write down: Thomas Gray, Gray, William Collins, William Joseph, Thomas Warton, Warton, okay, and this was also the period of great novelists. They were realistic and satiric, and some were also sentimental. Realist, satiric, and sentimental. Their names being Samuel Richardson, Henry Fielding, Tobias Smollett, Tobias, Tobias Smollett, Smollet, and Lawrence, Lourence, Lawrence Sterne, Sterne, Lawrence Sterne. Okay, so these are the major writers, poets of this age, which we will do in detail in the next class. Also, we are going to focus on the writers of the Augustan age. So we have written a few, not a few, but the complete introductory part of these two ages. So it will be really helpful for us to understand the writings of the writers who were writing in this age, which we are going to do in the next class, and then we will be over with this neoclassical age. It is really sad that I have to go a bit slow as per my pace, as compared to my pace in the class physically when I'm present there and you guys are taking the notes down there. So the communication is really easy as compared to the recorded classes. So I have to go a bit slow, and it's taking a longer time than the usual course, but we are going to finish it off, and then when we will be over with this, we are going to start with the Romantic age. All of my students will be present. I want all of my students to be present for the live classes, because once I am live, I will be able to answer your questions then and there. Just put your questions in the comment section and I will be able to see it at that time, and it will be much more easier for us to communicate in that manner. Also, I am not requesting you, I am actually asking you to study, because the exam is going to happen. It may be delayed, but don't take it for granted. They are actually going to prepare the question papers. You will have to take up the exam if you wish to clear it and move ahead in your life. So keeping sane is important, but also keeping yourself equipped with everything all the knowledge and everything else is very important in this time. Take care of your family, take care of yourself, but important is giving time to your studies as well. I think I had a group of very nice students this time who were really keen on clearing the exams. Now this unfortunate disease has spread across the globe, so we are not I hope that we are not going to make it an excuse and forget about uh, the aims that we had. So clearing different exams was our aims. So I think we all need to study hard for that and motivate each other. So let's see how it all goes, and I just really hope that it all ends up soon and we all meet up for the classes, and let's have a normal life. Now I'm actually craving for the normal life, and I hope you all might also be craving for that. So until then, study in this manner, make the most out of it, follow up the lectures and study hard. Okay, thank you. I'll see you in the next class.